All right, you guys, I think I am live. Oh, now it's saying I'm live. Okay, perfect. I am Rachel with Rachel's Crafty Corner. Thank you guys for inviting me to come hang out with you guys and paint with you tonight. I just realized my apron is like super low there. Um, so I've been painting for I think about 4 years now. Um, Originally, I was a wreath maker. I started making signs for my wreaths, and then it just kind of took off and created its own little platform. So please stop in and say hi. My business is Rachel's Crafty Corner. Tonight I'm going to be painting a very popular sign for me. It is my, there we go, my black cat, which is black cat in jack-o'-lantern. So I like to prime per se my signs. I put a nice, hi Brenda, how are you? I put a white coat of acrylic down, just a thin coat of white acrylic. Sorry you guys, tongue-tied. And then wherever I have like white pieces, I will go ahead and just do that white, so you guys don't have to watch me paint white, because white's kind of boring. Hi Mary, how are you? Thank you guys. So first things, I'm going to go over my paint colors real quick with you guys while everybody's kind of coming in. I love Delta Ceramic Coat. That's usually what I use the very most of. Hi Andrea. So the colors I'm going to be using, my grays that we're using is Drizzle Gray and Rain Gray, my two favorites. I have for a pink, blush pink. This is from Deco Art Americana. I then will be using 3 different oranges. We're going to be using cantaloupe, pumpkin, and tangerine for you guys. And I've got gecko for our green, and our 2 purples are purple heather. I always mess it up. I always want to say heather purple, but purple heather and pansy. Hi Teeny, how are you? Thank you so much for having me, you guys. And Carolyn, thank you. So yes, like I said, I've been painting for about 4-ish years. I am completely self-taught. I didn't really realize I even had this talent. I doodled and always drew and stuff like that, and I wanted to make a watermelon sign, and it just turned in from a watermelon sign to many more signs as it went. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera down and talk to you all, and we'll get started with painting, okay? So here is our fun little black cat jack-o'-lantern. I like to paint on foam boards that you get from the dollar store. It just helps save my space from being too overly crazy with paint. When I am doing shading, I like to use a foam plate instead of a paper plate. Sorry, you guys. And I like to use these egg, or I should say egg, honeycomb ice cube maker things. I pour my paint in there, and then when it dries, it just pops out really easily. Cleans out really good too. It's silicone. You can get these on Amazon. They're amazing. So anyhow, let's first start with our pumpkin. Oh my gosh, where did I pick up all this glitter? It must have been on the bottom of this. Hold on. I mean, we're gonna have glitter, but we don't need this much right away. Sorry about that. Okay. Woo! I love me some glitter, but I don't like it when in spots where I don't need it. All right, so like I said, we're gonna start with our pumpkin first. I like to do shading, so we're gonna start with our oranges. So this is cantaloupe, which is our light orange. We have pumpkin, which I am almost out of this. Yep, completely out. So let's open a new bottle here. Okay, maybe not. Come on. All right. So, where are y'all from? I'm recognizing some people's names, others I am not, so it's really nice to see you all. I have kind of been a little bit MIA on Facebook. I used to do Facebook Lives all the time, and then when COVID happened, we were kind of told that we're going to be moving, so things kind of got crazy, and eventually we moved, and I now reside in North Carolina. And so anyways, but home is kind of a weird thing for me to say because we lived in Chicago, suburbs of Chicago for about 5 years. And then before that, I was born and raised in Utah. So I'm kind of all over the place. Okay, Teeny, thank you. Okay, guys, so first things first, we're going to paint our pumpkin here. And then I'm going to add some stripes up to the top of the brim of our our witch's hat. So we're going to do our pumpkin first, and I'm going to get a nice base coat down. Hey, Janice. All right. So I'm just going to go right around here. I am using a flat brush. I typically use flat brushes or angle brushes. I like to use the edge of my paintbrush to kind of get those nice clean lines for myself. And then I'm going to pull my paint down. This is also going to help with trying to not get too much of an edge where you paint. When I first started, I used to get this nice little clump of paint and it drove me nuts. So if you work with your edge and let your edge kind of work with you and don't overload your paintbrush, it helps a lot too. So a lot of the times you'll see me swipe before I go to my edge. It's just to help clean up my brush edge. Thank you, Mary. All right, you guys, so I'm just cleaning and painting this up real quick here. I went ahead and shared my links with you all so you guys can follow me and everything else. I've been told the follow word is okay now again on Facebook, so it's not the forbidden word. Thank goodness. All right, you guys, so I'm just going to grab our edges here. So what I like to do when I paint is I kind of go around the perimeter of my edges, and then I kind of just go crazy and kind of almost scribble my way through the rest. And I'm going to come in and paint our jack-o'-lantern face. So I'm not going to worry too much about going over the lines because we're painting it black. And black's going to cover right over this orange, and time is money, so the less time that we spend kind of going in our area, in all of these crazy areas, the better, right? So we'll add some orange, but like I said, I'm not going to worry too much about right here. And like I said, this is that pumpkin orange. It's one of my favorites to use. It has great coverage. Hey, Gary, how are you? And Jace, oh my goodness. Hey, Jace, it's been forever. I used to watch you guys like crazy, but I have 2 daughters, and man, preteen and teenager years, all I feel like is a taxi cab. My youngest, she's just going to turn 11 on the 18th. And she plays softball, so she's very into it, and fall ball has been kicking my butt. Hi. So, anywho, my other daughter, she likes to play band. She's actually at band right now. They are at a football game, and they're letting the middle schoolers, the 8th graders, come sit in and play with them tonight. So she was really excited about it. All right, you guys, I like to paint my edges. I'm kind of a little bit of a messy painter, so this kind of helps with keeping my edges look nice and pretty when I go to resell these pretty hangers that I paint. I have a hard time giving myself compliments, so it's a little weird. I'm trying to be better. All right, you guys, I'm just smoothing out my edge because sometimes you'll get a little bit of a bead of paint. So we're gonna do that. Slide our pizza board around here. And I'm going to switch to a different brush. Let me grab what brush I want to use. Okay, I am gonna go with a 1/8 angle brush. I use cheap brushes, nothing real crazy and expensive. Hey Katie, how are you, hun? There's a name I recognize again. And Joanne Allen, I recognize yours. And Gary, I do too. Oh, it is so crazy. But yes, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love watching them grow up and just, it's been fun. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna go in here and we're just gonna lay down our orange stripes here. Of course, I picked the tiny little spot first, but hey, I like to make life difficult. I'm not gonna worry about going over on my line. My gray is gonna cover it, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Let me see. Okay, so we have black, and then we have purple, and then we have green, and then we have an orange. So we have 3 lines in between. And then, all right, we'll go right about here with our next one, 2, 3, and right there. I like to kind of almost do this ahead of time and then come back and paint them so I don't mess up. All right, so just getting our stripes here, and then I'm going to come back and do that second coat on our pumpkin. Typically I don't have to do too many second coats. I believe in good quality paint. There's nothing wrong with apple barrel when you're starting, but when you really start painting a lot, time is money, and waiting for that paint and having to do 2 or 3 coats, in my opinion, is you can risk messing up your project and you're wasting your time on doing 2 or 3 coats. So sometimes even 4. So that's why I like it. And then, like I said, I like to prime. It just makes your paint come out a little bit bolder. And it also, thank you, Teeny, I appreciate that. It also makes your paint go a little bit bolder and stronger, and gives you just a better, brighter color than painting with the natural wood, which the natural wood I like to paint on MDF, so it's really light. I would get lighter MDF, but still. Hey Michelle, how are you? Okay, so I don't think I told you guys what size this angle or this flat brush was, or actually it is an angle. This is a 3/8 angle brush that I'm using, the bigger one. And this is actually Royal brand, but it comes from Walmart too. It's actually in the kids section. I'm going to turn on my heat gun real quick here. I can just see a couple little spots where we don't want our paint to lift up. Now, just to let you know, if you are using a heat gun, to work fast and don't leave your heat gun in one spot too long. If you do so, you're going to have a hot mess called bubbling, and at that point you're going to have to sand down your project and try again, which is no bueno, no fun. All right, I always feel like the second coat always goes just a little bit faster. So let's get this on real quick here. Go right in here, pull that down. This time I try and focus a little bit more on how my brush strokes are going as well on my second coat. So if you notice, I'm kind of going with the grain of how I would want my pumpkin. Did I just grab? I did. I just grabbed a little bit of tangerine on my brush, which we're not ready for that yet. That would be some shading that we don't want happening quite yet. Am I missing a comment? Oh, okay. You guys, if I miss one of your comments, I will either ask again, I won't be offended, or I will try and answer after I get off. It's always hard when you're looking down and painting to catch everything. All right, so just kind of trying to get our rounds here. I need more pumpkin. I typically over pour. All right. And then while our paint is still wet here, I'm going to start shading. I know a lot of people get really nervous with shading. I used to be so incredibly intimidated of it. And now it's probably become one of my favorite things to do because it gives your sign dimension. It makes it pop. It makes it move. So what we're going to do now is I'm not even going to clean my brush. I'm going to go right into the tangerine on the tip of my brush here. And then I'm going to go on the other side with our pumpkin, okay? I'm going to go back and forth just a little bit just to get a nice smooth line. I'm also going to add a little bit of medium float. If you guys haven't worked with this, it's kind of like a watery gel base, and it kind of makes your paint more pliable, makes it easier for it to kind of spread out and move. You can get the same effect with water, and in some cases I like using water a little bit more, but for this type of application I like using the medium. Back and forth here. Just going right around, getting a nice round stroke here. And then because our eyes are there, I'm not going to focus too much into this. Okay. Going right around here. Okay, I'm going to grab some more paint. All right, I'm gonna go right here, grab our pumpkin edge right there, and then we're gonna go right here, giving our next edge. And if you can you see how that's building that dimension? It's making that pumpkin come to life a lot more. Okay, I also work on a Lazy Susan. If you guys haven't, I highly suggest if you're painting to get yourself one. You can get them off of Amazon, they're real cheap. All right, let me smooth that out. Okay, and I'm gonna add just one more slight little piece right there. Okay, so if you can see, we've got that nice yummy deliciousness going on right there with our pumpkin. All right, so now I'm going to start adding in a little more color. This is going to kind of give some highlight and some more movement. I'm going to go in with our cantaloupe, the lighter orange, and our pumpkin, and we're going to ombre these back and forth. And I'm just going to kind of go right kind of the opposite direction here. Okay, same thing again. Grab just a little bit more paint. Grab some medium. All right. just like that. I'm going to add just a little highlight here. Okay. You see how our pumpkin is taking form now? All right. And then let me grab this other side here. Okay, just smoothing that in. Grab just a little bit of median. Getting a little bit of stroke where it kind of looks like you're dragging the brush. I don't want that. Okay. And once again, we're going right here. And I'll bring that up so you guys can see that. So you can see, nice, round. Now it looks like it's moving for you guys. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Thank you, Rachel. Ooh, outdoor fireplace. Love it. Okay, guys, I'm going to hurry and grab my extra paint here. Ooh, maybe. Okay. Because we are moving on. Oh, I almost forgot. I do need to grab just a quick little coat for our hat on our orange real quick, on our pumpkin. Oh my gosh, I'm having bottles falling. Oh, I need that still. Grab our tangerine. All right, so just scraping off the extra I got here. Waste not, want not is what my motto always is. There's nothing worse when you go to get that bottle of your extra bottle of paint and you don't have it. So you gotta cut that bottle open and scrape everything you got. All right. So once again, just taking that 1/8 angle brush, going right here on our lines, right here as well. Okay, orange is done. Me too. Ooh, yucky mosquitoes. Rachel, I have caught a couple of your paintings. You are a gorgeous painter. Same with Michelle. I remember when Michelle started painting. Beautiful. Okay, oranges are done. Let's go to our next. Okay, next color. Let's do our purples. Or, you know what? I take that back. Let's do our lime green real quick. Get it over with. There's not much of it. Oh my gosh. My hands don't want to move tonight. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate it. Michelle, I promise you, I will start going live. I was making a promise to myself that I was going to start doing this, and I keep like, okay, well, I'll just do TikTok. I'll just do a quick little TikTok because I'll record myself on my phone real quick. But I'm like, you know, I don't think it matters what time of day that you go, as long as you're going, right? Okay, let me check this out real quick here. Okay, trying to remember how I did this. Sorry, guys. I'm a hot mess. I'm just double checking my picture here. Okay, I guess it really doesn't matter as long as your colors are there, right? All right, we're doing our stripes here. Okay. I'm gonna go right here. I know, and it's so funny because I love going live. I mean, that initial like, whoo, butterflies, and then it's over and it's like, oh yeah, the adrenaline high that you get from doing it, and I love talking to people. I think the worst is when you don't have people. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Carolyn. Or, I'm sorry, Cynthia, but Carolyn. You are so welcome. I'm so glad I can teach you. I watched lots of people through little Facebook or YouTube lives here and there, but yeah, like I said, I was self-taught, and it's really intimidating because you don't know the people's terms for different things and stuff like that. And so I got really overwhelmed for a while because I didn't know the lingo and always was like embarrassed to say something wrong, you know, or whatever else. And so I kind of would put myself on the back burner there and be intimidated to paint. And so I started getting friends that were like, you need to just do it because there's so many people that are like you that want to paint, but they're intimidated by the lingo, and so they don't do it. And I mean, how sad is that? Because painting has become such a thing for my life. I love doing it. It relaxes me so much. It's just fun. So once again, I'm just using that 1/8 angle brush. I'm taking my angle brush and just going very slowly, but creeping it up. And I like to paint mostly towards me. I feel like I get the better lines that way. I don't feel like I'm pulling on my paintbrush as much, which is that drag, that not clean line. Right, Janice? It's mine too. I love watching people paint or do other things. It is very relaxing and calming to me too. My favorite thing is watching wreath makers with the mesh and the nails clicking. Oh, I love that. Them gathering the mesh. Oh, it's like amazing to me. All right, you guys. So I'm just smoothing this out. Grabbing right in here. Sorry. When we get in those small little areas, my mouth shuts for a minute. Gotta concentrate. All right, going right here. Otherwise, my mouth tends to just run. I used to be a very shy person. This would have like typically sent me over the edge. But you know, you break down your boundaries. I always find, and I've always tried to be my biggest competitor with myself. I've always tried to reach for more, always tried to do better in personal, art, business, you know, everything. I think it's a good goal to have. I never want to be complacent. All right, guys. I am just grabbing the edge of our eyeballs here, giving our cat some nice green eyes. I'm going to come back, hit one more time with a second coat here. I'm going to have to hit with our heat gun one quick time. Oh, honey, you can do it. Andrew, you totally can. I never thought I could master shading, and it just takes time. I didn't think I could paint. I really didn't. And it takes time, but you'll get there. Yep, exactly. If you mess up, let it dry, redo it, sand it off. Baby wipes, painter's best friend. I'm not even joking you. They're just right outside off of my screen here, but I will show you. Baby wipes, never too far. Always have baby wipes handy. Exactly, Teeny. 100%. I agree 100% with you on that. It's just paint. It can be fixed. Sure, does it make you upset? Does it frustrate you? Absolutely. Have I never been frustrated a day in my life with crafting? Oh no. There's been so many epic fails, or, you know, the Pinterest fails. Too many to count. Too many drawings that went down the garbage can. You guys trying to learn Procreate? I thought I was going to break my iPad. Thank goodness it was expensive, and the pencil was too, because I almost chucked that thing about 1,000,000 times. It's a lot easier for me to draw on pen and paper, but I've started learning and it's gotten a lot better, and I can definitely do things and program things a lot easier. So I also have my own laser, so I do sell my blanks and everything else. So just a little FYI. Right? There you go, right? Okay, guys, green is done. Like I said, if I'm using just a little amount, I just use my lid. Probably why it's so hard for me sometimes to get my lids off sometimes. But hey, it is what it is, right? We work with it. I am not going to do purple next because I just realized we need to do pink. So we're going to do his nose and we're going to do his ears real quick. It is a total beast on its own, Rachel. I will 100%, 1,000,000% agree with you. It is a rough one, but once you get it, you get it, I feel like. Yeah, see, you've got it. And you know, fake baking, that intimidates me to no end. So I commend you for doing that. I haven't even tried to attempt that. Okay, I am just going to still use that 1/8 angle brush. Why? Because I forgot to switch brushes and I hate switching brushes. So we're just going to go with it. I could have definitely bumped up to a bigger brush here, but I'm lazy. All right, so just going right around our edge here. And this blush pink from Deco Art Americana is really good. It is one and done usually with this coverage. We're going to get our ears here. And another thing to remember too is if you're painting with a darker color, it's okay to go outside the line, because that darker color, you're going to go right over it, and so you don't have to be as precise. Like, I know that this cat's ear, there's going to be black up at the top. So if I bump it and I mess up here, it's okay. I just have one line I got to worry about. All right. Let me clean this up real quick. All right, so I've been seeing all of your guys' fun retreats you guys have been doing. They look so fun. I'm a little bit jealous, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So I just got the blush pink done. We are now going to work on purple. I teased you enough, we'll do purple. All right, let me put this angle brush away for a minute. If you notice, this is a little bit more of a shading project. I kind of wanted to go big, not do a full beginner tutorial, but if you would like one, please invite me back. I would love to paint for you all again. Okay, I am just cleaning out my 3/4 angle brush here. This is Pansy Purple, or just Pansy is what it's called, but I always say Pansy Purple. Just like Gecko, Gecko is the green, but it's Gecko green. I always say that. but when you go to buy it, it's gecko. All right, we're gonna just swoop right here with our hat. All right. Cleaning up right here. Going right into the edge of our hat. I just picked up a little bit of the pink blush, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to be shading with the light purple, that it's not going to matter. See? Accidents. It happens to all of us. Going right in here. So if you're noticing how I'm kind of angling my brush, I am mostly using the edge of my paintbrush. If you can master working on the edge of your paintbrush, a lot more of your painting and your control is going to come from that. Same thing here. Okay, and then if you see, I'm kind of flipping my edge to go right around where the buckle of my paintbrush is. Where am I from? Where am I from? I was born and raised in Utah. I moved about 7 years ago to Chicago. Outside of Chicago, actually in the suburbs. If you're really familiar with Chicago, it was North Aurora was the town that we moved to. We had a little jaunt there for about 5 years. And then I landed myself in North Carolina. My husband does logistics and with a specialty in last minute mile. And so his profession is a little bit more sought out right now, especially with COVID. And so anyways, we have had the pleasure of moving and kind of creating our own little life and getting to see the world. So love North Carolina, love the weather a lot more than Chicago. No offense to those who are in Chicago, but man, that wind, whew, and the cold. I thought I knew what cold was like until I moved there. It was a whole nother meeting. But my Midwest people, I love y'all. All right, so I'm just going right around here. I know my accent's really weird because nobody can quite figure me out. All right. Yeah, I used to go to a crafters convention quite a bit when I lived out there, so that was always fun. All right, you guys, I am just going to smooth this out, and then we're going to start building up on our witch's hat here. You're in North Carolina. Oh, how cool. Okay, so I am in Statesville. That's where I'm at. So I think you're on the other side of North Carolina from me, but I've heard it's beautiful over there. Andrea, who I'm addressing. Sorry. I start talking, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I guess I should address who I'm talking to. All right, I'm just smoothing this out. Right? I know. It is not an easy job, that is for sure. I used to be a police officer, so I get serving country and everything else, but definitely not like that. Okay, guys, I painted that edge. Okay, we're gonna just paint the edge here. I hope I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So even though my edges are black, I still like to go over and paint them because, like I said, I'm a messy painter. So I tend to get paint on my edges. So I just found, and I really don't do like 2 coats, I just do 1 quick coat over it, and it looks good enough to me. Just enough to cover it, make it look pretty and decent-ish. Okay, I am gonna grab right in here. This is a little bit tighter of an edge. I'm hoping I can show you. It's always hard when you're painting edges to show on camera. I feel like I need like 17 camera views when I paint. Okay. Spinning, spinning, spinning. All right. And definitely trying not to get this on my newsletter. Some of you guys, I may be a little bit less recognizable too because I recently have lost some weight, and so for some people I've been told I do not look like the same person. So it's been a definite weight journey for sure. I've always struggled with it, and I started really working on my mental health and just health in general. I started having really bad shoulder rotary cuff issues and thought I was going to have surgery, but luckily I didn't, and with a lot of physical therapy and help, we were able to get it under control and get some anxieties and everything else under control. And life just kind of started getting better, and same happened with the weight. I never thought my weight would come off. I kind of thought I was doomed to it. So I am at 55 pounds weight loss right now. And my whole closet doesn't fit, which is exciting, but also at the same time nerve-wracking and just irritating, because like you'll be like, oh, remember that cute shirt? And then you go and try it on, and it's like, yep, no, donation pile. Where am I located? I am in North Carolina, Statesville, North Carolina. All right, I am gonna go in real quick with our angle brush, our 1/8 angle, and I'm going to add in our purple stripes here. Real quick, before I forget, and then we'll come back and do a really cute shading of our hat. Okay, so, we don't need anything there because it was on the orange side. All right, but I am gonna go right here, I think with this one, or nope, I almost messed that up. We're gonna go right here. All right, there we go. Okay, purple, done. Right, oh, nope. Need one stripe right here. Okay, doo-doo-doo. Yes, I make noises. It's what makes life fun, right? I'm a big dork. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you, Janice and Stony and Katie. Thank you. I know, girl, you have been killing it on the weight loss. I've been watching you as well. Way to go. And it is definitely not easy. I thought with, I have an autoimmune disease, so I was definitely thinking there was no way in heck that I was going to be losing weight. And like I said, it just kind of started going. Katie, that is so awesome. Congratulations. Seriously. And what a confidence boost it gives, right? All right, you guys, I am going to introduce another size of brush into the mix tonight, if I can find her. Yep, there we go. This is for our shading of our hat. All right, so this right here is a very well used brush, and I am gonna say it's a half inch angle brush. So don't quote me on it. I can't see my numbers anymore because it is loved, but that's what I'm gonna say it is. I'm gonna grab some medium here. So like I said, I just did the purple, the light purple on the top, which is heather purple, or no, purple heather. Like I said, I always flip those. Purple heather on the top and pansy on the bottom here. And we're going to just do a nice kind of highlight around our hat. We grab a little bit more paint. And like I said, if your paint is a little bit wet, it actually helps with making it glide, your paint glide a little bit more. So you don't want it completely dry for this stage. Okay, we're gonna do our arch here next. Go around our buckle, so we're gonna kind of weave around here. Just like so. All right, you guys, if I promise to go live, you guys better come say hi to me. Because you all have been such a pleasure to paint with tonight. You made me want to paint, or get on lives again. All right, we're going right around the edge here. Grabbing a little more medium. All right. And we're gonna go right here. Curve here, and now I'm gonna start making our little bumps and our fun parts of our hat. This is gonna make our hat really start coming alive. This is our Bob Ross moments. I loved watching him when I was little. Okay, grabbing again. Okay, Janice. Michelle, I have done paint classes in a private group for Hardworking Mom. I'm one of her designers, full disclosure, but I have not done virtuals. I've been wanting to. That's my next goal now that we've kind of moved in and gotten settled again from all of this crazy COVID stuff and moving. We had to move to a rental because, you know, housing market was crazy. So we could only find a spec home, and that was a hot mess because it was a little small in quarters. So we got that, and like I said, we've just been in the house for about a year. So we've moved here in February, so we'll be coming on 2 years, and then I moved into this house in end of 1st of August, actually. So yeah, just a little bit over it. Oh, you guys are making me like so happy. I should. Okay, I'll do it. My website says I do, but it's coming soon. So yes, I will start offering. I have been doing a lot of paint classes locally, which has been great because I don't have any friends or family really here, so it's been kind of lonely. Illinois, I didn't have friends or family. Well, I didn't have family. I started getting family friends, quote unquote. So it made life a lot easier. It always makes life easier when you have friends, right? Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to grab my extra paint here, because, you know, waste not, want not. All right. Put that lid on there. I would love that. I need friends, for sure. Everybody needs friends, right? Everybody needs to feel loved. Brenda, I know you used to come watch me paint. When I saw your name, I got so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I know this person. Hi, Pam. Okay. Next thing we're going to go to is I'm going to go to my gray, and then we're going to go to black, okay? So, we're going with our drizzle gray. And you know what, you guys? I don't have too much of the drizzle gray going on. So we are going to just go right here. And we'll use that 1.5 inch angle brush. I love that. Okay. So I'm going to paint our chest, his little chest right here. And I'm just going to kind of ran my brush, just like so. This was an afterthought, and so I don't even have this on the template from when I first drew him. But I was like, he needs a cute little gray chest. This is that drizzle gray. It is, seriously, you guys, for gray, it has the best coverage ever. Love it. Drizzle gray from Delta, or not Delta. Yes, Delta, sorry. Delta Ceramic Coat. I'm getting lost in what I'm painting here. Delta Ceramic Coat is one of, like I said, I'm kind of snob with my paint. This one is one of my favorites to use. Coverage is amazing. Most of the time, one and done. All right, we're just going right around here, right again with my angle brush, swooping down again, getting his lips. Okay. Smoothing in. Going right around our nose. Swooping in again. And then I'm going to go right around our cute nose here, or mouth. I don't know parts of my anatomy tonight. Forgive me. I've ran kids around. I'm tired. This old lady's tired. Just joking. Okay. We are good there. And oh, buckle. How did I get interested in painting? So, funny story. I was a wreath maker. That's what I wanted to do. That's what my business was initially doing. And you all had me, all of you wreath makers out there, you had me all intimidated going on to Etsy because I was like, okay, how am I going to get my wreath to stand out? And I had this cute idea for a watermelon because I love watermelons. And I wanted to make this cute watermelon wreath. So I went to look for watermelon signs. And at the time, there wasn't too many sign makers going on. But all the signs were like, I was just looking, and every single one, same ribbon or close to it, same colors, obviously watermelon. And how in the heck am I going to get this to look good, right? That's what I'm thinking. How am I going to let myself stand out? Because price-wise, you know, we all have to kind of be in that same price point and everything else. And so I got thinking, I'm like, you know, I bet I could make myself a watermelon, paint it, put some stencil on it from Cricut, you know, and watermelon wouldn't be that hard to paint. So told my husband what I was going to do. My grandpa was a wood maker. He passed away when I was in high school my senior year. So I was 17, almost 18 when he passed. And my grandmother died when I was 8, or when I was 6, I'm sorry. And so my grandpa, to keep himself busy and occupied, the man shook like he had tremors so bad, but he would get on a saw, and it was called fretwork, and it's extremely intricate wood cutting, and he would just cut and his hands would stay still. And I remember sitting on his lap and we would cut and do wood together all the time. And so I'm like, I had a bandsaw, I had a squirrel saw. I had not really used it much, but I had it. And so I told myself, I'm going to cut this. Well, my husband at the time was in Minneapolis for business, and he begged me, of course, not to use it, but you know, I don't listen. And so I used my saw, cut it out, drew my own little quick template of a watermelon, drew it out, painted it, and I was like, what do everybody think? Do you think it's good enough? Do you think I could put it on a wreath? Like, what do y'all think? And that was the start of it. It kind of just blew up from there, and then I got asked, hey, can you paint this? And hey, can you do this? What do you do about this? What about that? And before I knew it, I was painting, and I hadn't touched a wreath in so long because I had gotten so busy and loved doing all of the painting. So that is my story. Thank you guys for sprinkling. Welcome, welcome. Thank you guys. All right. I'm going to be using that 1/2 inch angle brush again. We're going to go in with black, and we are going to make this cat actually look like a cat now and not have creepy eyes, all of that stuff. I always like to use my black at the end because you can clean up all of your little boo-boos and everything else. So why I like to use it. Do that at the end. I try and keep my color palettes as well when I'm painting and using paint, you know, when I'm painting, and that I try and go from light to dark and watch kind of how I'm doing and adding it up in my head of what color needs to go next, or if it needs to be added on top of things. The reason why you want to do your dark colors last is because if you've painted a lighter color or a dark color and then go to a lighter color, if it's in your brush at all and you haven't got your brush cleaned out, it is going to be on your project. Talking from personal experiences here. So I'm just adding my angles. Remember, I like to kind of go, I kind of feel like painting is almost like painting in a coloring, or like a coloring book. At least when I used to color, I used to do the perimeter, get that all nice and pretty, get all of my edges done, and then just scribble, scribble, scribble. Same kind of thing of how I paint. I try and get my edges as good as I can, and then scribble, scribble, scribble. So edges right here. And always don't be afraid to move your project. I see a lot of people try and contort their hands and everything else. Move that project. Don't move your arm and mess it out, your shoulder and everything else up. Speaking from experience. And like I said, the Lazy Susan has also been a blessing because you can move it very easily. So if you haven't picked up one of those, pick one up. They're amazing. I have the 12-inch one. I know you can sometimes find bigger ones, but the 12-inch one is the one I'm using. I definitely probably want to go smaller than the 12-inch. Just FYI. All right, you guys, I am going right around the edge here. Okay. Sorry, just double checking here. Okay. I saw a text message from my daughter that's at the football game, so I wanted to make sure that my husband saw that. Okay. Going right around the edge of our mouth now. Same right here. Okay. Getting our kitty. There we go. And smoothing out here. All right. Okay, I am horrible at names. Giselle, I'm gonna guess. I am the worst at reading. I will admit it right now, so I am sorry if I just totally butchered your name. But hello, thanks for joining me and saying hi. And you guys, once again, thank you so much for having me. It was such an honor. All right, I am just gonna go right around our eye here next. Grabbing right around our face, into our hat. Okay. I'm going to take my paintbrush, go right around his eye. If you're remembering, I'm still using that edge of my angle brush right here. That's what's keeping my lines nice and straight. And then we're just going to smooth out our paint. Okay. We're starting to see a cat here, right? All right, let's stop with these creepy eyes and give him some cute ones. Give him some pupils. Just like so. Okay. All right. I wasn't liking how those lines met up. Same again. And right through here. And right around the edge here. And coming back up here. There we go. Smoothing out. All right, I'm going to switch to a smaller brush for that because I am not going to tempt fate. We've been doing pretty good tonight. I don't want Murphy's Law to come bite me real quick, so I am not going to get too cocky there. Going right around our edge here. Like I said, typically I don't like to change brushes, and I probably would normally tempt fate with that and paint it, but we're not going to. And we got to do our stripes, so we're okay. I'm going to go right here, grab our other ear, so straight up, making sure our edge right here looks nice, and going around here. All right, going in here, just grabbing my edge here. There we go. Smoothing out my paint. I'm gonna grab my edges. And guess what? these are our last edges we're painting. My favorite part of painting is getting done with those edges so I don't have to remember to paint them anymore. Going right around here. Okay. Same here. And right here. There we go. And I got that here. Okay, perfect. We're gonna go into our smaller brush here. Hi Susan, how are you? I make it look easy. I paint non-stop. So if I didn't make it look easy, we would have problems. But I promise you, the more and more you work on it, if you were to look at and watch some of my first videos, I would not be making it look easy. Things were a little bit harder back then. Okay. Just adding in real quick here. All I have to say with painting, practice. And I am always getting paint all over my arms. So, like I said, I'm messy. If I could learn how to not be as messy, that would be a great thing. Okay, just grabbing right here. Not going to paint myself into a corner, so I'm going to start here. We're going to give the arch of our eyes right through here. Same through here. And then we're going to get the kind of swoop of our hat. All right. And if you look, which I want to show you guys, you can see that I kind of smudged right here. I'm going to leave that because I'm going to come in with the detail brush and we're going to clean that up. So I'm not going to mess with it. If I did try and mess with it, I'd probably end up getting myself into more of a mess. So I'm leaving it. It is okay. You can always clean things up. I feel like on camera sometimes it definitely doesn't show you the eye view of the mess ups, the over the lines, all of that kind of stuff. It is okay to be perfectly imperfect with painting because it is a hand painted sign. If they wanted a sign that was perfect, then they could go buy one from Hobby Lobby that's printed off and looks beautiful. Hand painted signs, you're going to see brush strokes. You're going to see little things, little flaws. I always have a disclaimer on all of my things. It's hand painted. It may look similar, but it's never going to be exactly the same. So never get discouraged. Always keep pushing yourself. And like I said, I am my biggest competitor. I am the one that tells myself I need to do this better. I want this better. And everything else. I think that we are our worst critics, but at the same time, we can also be our biggest motivationer. And I am riddled with anxiety. I've had it all of my life, and I finally learned to tell myself it is okay. It is okay to be imperfect. It is okay to have boo-boos. It's okay to mess up because you know what? That's how we learn. It's how we get better. It's how we make it look perfect. Make it look easy because it ain't easy. At times, I was ripping my hair out trying to get things painted. Or just want to look the way I wanted it to look. So I kept working on it and eventually it just kind of came to. Alright you guys, I am going to paint our jack-o'-lantern our eyes and everything else. We're going to make this jack-o'-lantern actually look like a jack-o'-lantern instead of a pumpkin. Going right around our edge here. Okay. Alright. Cleaning that up. Same thing here. Just like so. Going right around our edge here. I'm just going to start smoothing this out. And I'm not too worried about the coverage because we're adding glitter onto his eyes. Judy, you are A-okay, hon. You showed up. That's all that matters. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, right around the edge of our nose here. Same thing here. Going right around our nose. Other side. Smoothing this eye out. There we go. And cleaning up the middle there. I'm going to get the other eye because my hand's going to start working into it when I go to the mouth. All right, let me grab right here. Go right into our edge here. Okay, smoothing this one out, going right around our edge. There we go. Coming in here, making a nice swoop. I am not going to make that swoop with my hand, so I'm just going to stop, come back up, and meet where I left off. Okay, now onto our mouth here. Okay, I'm going to start getting some drag with my paintbrush, so I'm going to stop, come back. I got a little bit of drag right there that I'm not caring for, so I'm just going to clean that up real quick with my angle. Same thing again. All right. Okay. Smoothing that out. Go up, grab our teeth, come across here. There we go. And smooth that out. Gonna grab our teeth here and smooth out. I do not like how that alignment. There we go. Going across. I'm going to stop right here, reset my brush because I don't want it to run into the tooth. And then, like I said, I work better when I paint towards me than away from me, so I try to limit how many brush strokes I have to do away from me. I like those ones to be nice and small and everything else. Okay. I'm gonna go right down here, go across. All right, right through here. I'm gonna come down. Swoop around here and voila, our friend has now a mouth and he looks like a jack-o'-lantern. Oh, I love that. It does kind of on the camera, I can see what you're meaning. But yeah, this is, like I said, this was cantaloupe, pumpkin, and tangerine with those oranges there. All right, you guys. We are going to go into some crazy stuff. Just joking. We're going to go into adding outlining. Yes, I do live in North Carolina. What part are you from? I'm in Statesville. And I am going to use a 5/0 spotter brush because it's called from this company, because it's called From Plant. Others will use, say that they're liner brushes, same thing. So spotter or liner brush is the same thing, okay? But it's just a nice thin brush. It is that orange. It really pulls really pretty. So I can totally see what you're saying. Okay. Yes, I do like my brushes. I'm sorry. Some people are like, ah, that's so gross. Okay. I am going to, let's see, we're going to work kind of up here since we're wet down here. And I kind of just developed this little, I don't know, signature, I guess is what you want to call it. I like to add little, what I call ziggy zags into my paintings. They're kind of random. I just kind of put them wherever I want them. So what I'm mentioning is, like, I like to add little textures. I think it just kind of adds a little something fun. I've seen people do dots, little swooshy, like little lines or little slashes. It's just kind of something I picked up that I do. It honestly actually started because I really goofed up really bad on a project. And I was like, how in the heck am I going to fix this? And so I ended up just doing a swooshy, and I liked it so much that I kept doing it, and it just stuck. So, you know, happy accidents. Bob Ross. It was my Bob Ross moment. And so now I just kind of do it. It's just part of the texture, part of what I like to do to add a little more character to my projects. Okay, we're going to add some whiskers. So when I do whiskers, I kind of flick my wrist, okay? And flick, flick. Okay, we're going to come over to this side. We're going to flick. There we go, sorry. And flick. And one more time. I'm going to go back and add just a little bit of gray when we do our shading here, which I just realized I didn't do shading. And I'm outlining. I'm being silly. Hold on. Let's grab some shading real quick, because this cat is looking like a black blob. All right. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're using our rain gray real quick. I am sorry. This will be fast though, because we're just doing shading on our kitty cat here. And that is too small of a brush. Yes. I want that 1/2" angle brush that I was using before. We're going to get that rain gray and our black. We're going to go back and forth, get a little more black here. And I need just a little bit more of my medium float. Okay. I apologize. I got ahead of myself. All right, so shading, once again, we're just going to go right around our outline here. Good thing I kind of caught that. Same thing here, we're just shading around our cat. This is going to give that dimension, same as like with the pumpkin, okay? It's just building upon him, so it's giving him dimension, so he's not going to look like this crazy black blob that we've been using, okay? Or that we painted. So we're going to go right around here. Pick up our fingers here, our little nubbies. Grab a little bit more. Thank you so much. Did I miss a question? Okay. Oh, Lisa, thank you so much. It takes time, but you'll get there, sweetie, I promise. If I could only show you some of my beginning work to what I do now, I actually probably have some in my closet. But beginning work to what I have now, it's definitely miles ahead. It's still good, but like I said, I have always told myself, I've always been my biggest competitor. I've always strived to be better, always strived to do a little bit more, beat that last sign, beat that last, painting, that kind of thing. Okay, going right around our cute little nubby here. There we go. And this kind of need a little bit of brush stroke pop through over there. Grab a little more black here. I'm going to take our friend, go right here, and then I'm going to grab right here. We're going to have to redo a little bit of our outlining, but at least I caught it early. Okay, so I'm going to go right around here, right around here, just like that. Go right around his eyes. We're getting out of a little bit of gray here, so I'm going to grab some more gray right around his eyes here. This is shading. And I'm going to pull right here. I'm going to grab just a little bit more of my medium float. That helps keep it nice and smooth, your paint nice and smooth, and without a lot of drag, okay? I'll show you what the medium float looks like too. Okay, this is what that medium float looks like. It's from Folk Art. Love it. You guys are so awesome. Exactly, they do, and I love Picasso. I had the absolute pleasure of, while I was in DC, of going and seeing some Picasso, and you guys almost cried. I was so excited. So, and it is 100% truth. It definitely, as beautiful as it was like, yeah, I can definitely see that. Oh, thank you. I get told that a lot, and I'm always like, does that mean I'm boring? But I've started to really take it as a compliment because I've started watching other painters, and it's definitely the truth. I think that painting is definitely a natural relaxer. I know some people it stresses them out, but when you honestly just kind of start letting go and letting the paint and your brushes kind of do the work, it really does help. Okay, I'm going to get right here. I just have to switch to a smaller brush, and that is a liner brush. That is not the brush I was looking for. There we go. Oh, that's why, because it fell. There we go. Whoop, what did I click? Right? Exactly. Now Da Vinci's good. I saw Monet too, you guys. Oh my gosh. Monet. Oh, beautiful. Stresses you out. You'll get there, I promise. And some people, I do think it's not for them, and that is a-okay. What's good for some people is definitely not good for others, and I get it. It's totally fine. That's what makes us so unique and fun. Okay, you guys, I'm going to add just a little bit of black back into his ears here, because his ear went a little gray for my liking, a little too gray. All right, gonna grab some gray here, Grab a little bit of black, and I'm just going to touch up this brush stroke right here. There we go. Okay, you guys, done. Not touching it anymore, I promise. Oh, I lied. I just realized I messed up, and this lip needs to be black. I knew something looked off. Let me hit this with the heat gun real quick. Shouldn't take any time. Monet, oh my gosh, yes. Monet love. We, for spring break last year, took my daughters to DC, and oh my gosh, you guys, I was in heaven. My husband was like, you are totally geeking out and fangirling so much over stupid paintings. But he totally fangirled when he went through the archives, DC archives. So I was like, really? So we were kind of good. Okay, I'm just going to add right here. I'm going to go right around here, fix this, because this is bugging me. Okay, and then fix our little lip there. Okay, done. Back to outlining. Okay, so my spotter brush 5/0. We're going to clean up my hot mess of shading here. We're going to add a little ziggy zag on his lip. Why? Because I feel like it. All right, we're going to add back our whiskers. There we go. And back on track here. So I'm just going to grab right here. So this outlining, even though it's little, it really does bring that character to life, okay? You can do this with a paint pen as well. I honestly, I have a love-hate relationship with paint pens. So, but my favorite ones have been the Posca paint pens. Those are the ones that I like to use the most when I do use paint pens. But personally, I just grew to like my paintbrush. All right, I'm just gonna clean up real quick right around my edge here of his eyeball. Remember when I told you I messed up on my brush strokes and it was kind of getting fuzzy? This is where I said we would clean it up with doing these detail lines. I also, when I'm doing detail lines, I kind of dilute down my paint, my black paint, just a little bit with some water. When you guys saw me earlier doing that, that's what I was doing. It just makes your black run a little bit smoother and everything else. Okay. Going right into here. And once again, I'm going right here, grabbing our eye here. I'm going to bring this up right there. I almost forgot right here. I use it interchangeably. There we go, because we're painting this together, right? Okay. Going back into my hat here. Okay, I'm going to add a little zigzag right there for some fun. Ran out of paint there and grabbing right there. Okay, I'm going to go down here, grab our cat, rest of his face right here. Okay, I'm going to fix the whiskers that I've painted over a little bit. All right, and I'll get his little body right here. And while I'm at it, let's get his mouth before I forget. There we go. I'll get the rest of it when I go further down. All right. Did I design it? Yes, I did, Jody. Sorry. I did miss it. Yes, feel free if you guys, if I don't answer something, feel free to ask again. I just may have not saw it. And if not, I will always answer the question. I'll come back and answer it afterwards. Yes, I drew this one myself. I typically get inspired by other artists, clip art, plush pillows, you name it, you know, kind of thing. So, yes, I drew this guy myself. I sell my wood blanks as well. I've started really contemplating selling my templates as well. So, what do y'all think? Should I sell my templates? Should I share the love? I've always been nervous too, because I'm like, what if they don't like it? And then I get a bad review. I'm like, I don't know. I've never bought a template before, so I don't even know what to look for. Yes, posts where people can purchase your templates. Absolutely sell them. Okay. Ooh, yes. I will definitely ask you guys if you guys are up for it. I've gotten questioned before about doing them, but I don't know. I also feel like it's like, you know, you're putting your heart out there. You're like, what if they hate it? But I guess they wouldn't be buying it. So I need to stop questioning myself. Like I said, I'm an anxiety girl. I'm working on it. I'm getting better on it. Okay, so I'm adding just that cute little zigzag right there, just to give some more fun to my friend. Before I forget, I'm going to grab his ear and this side, which I almost forgot, of the hat here. So just grabbing my outlines here. Believe it or not, we are almost done with this friend. I was so excited when Michelle said there's not really a time limit. You can go however long you want. And I was like, sweet. Then I have the project I want to paint. Because I was like, am I going beginner? Where am I going with this? Okay, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to get right here. I'm not flipping you guys off. Sorry, my hanger is coming off the edge. So it's flipping up on me. All right, I think it is time for another little zigzag. Little ziggaroo. Okay. All right. Let me grab right here. There we go. And grabbing right there. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm always nervous. Like, oh, am I like, well, you know, am I taking too much of the time? Like I said, anxiety. Natural people pleaser to a fault, probably. All right, we got our little chest done. We're going to go into our hands here. Michelle, you are by far the sweetest. I loved sending messages to you today. It was fun. All right, I'm gonna go with another little zag right there, little zigzag, and I think we'll go right here with another little of my friend. Okay, let's do our other paw here. We're gonna go right here with one. Go right across here. This line's gonna be a little thicker because we're covering up some gray. See? I paint outside the lines too. Because I'm right here, I'm gonna just add that outline so I don't miss it. Hey, Becky Jones, I remember you. I know you. Okay, I'm gonna grab right here with one more little zag. It's so good, like, seeing you guys talking on my lives. Oh my gosh, well, I shouldn't even say my live. You guys are on here, but it's so awesome seeing you guys again. It, like, fills my heart. Because, like I said, it's been a long, hot while since I have really done some lives. I'm like, I would have to build all of that back up. I think that's what was probably the most intimidating thing for me, is building it all back up again. All right, we are gonna add another zigzag here, because why not? Because they're fun. Thank you, I appreciate this. You guys are so sweet. Thank you for the compliments. Okay, I'm gonna come up here. Like I said, this guy is like been one of my best sellers this year. So I've been really, really fortunate with him. All right, we're gonna go right about here. I'm gonna just kind of find the curve of my pumpkin. Just add a little bit in between. I'm not adding a ton, like I said. That's plenty. But it's just gonna help with that, the bumps of your pumpkin, kind of build it up. Oh, I love that. Thank you guys. All right, we're gonna go right here with one more of my friends, and voila. You guys see him? There we go. Kind of get him all in frame. I know he's big. He is a 20 inch door hanger, I think is what I cut on him. I should check my order, but I believe it was 20 inch. Okay, now for some fun stuff. Let's add a little bit of highlight, my favorite part. I honestly think you do. It has been so fun painting with you guys. You guys have been so awesome, so loving. All right, I like to use the back of my paintbrushes, but I need to find a bigger one. Okay, so I use the back of my paintbrush, and we're just gonna grab a cute little highlight for his eyeballs here. Okay, just like so. Simple, easy. Gotta love the back of your paintbrush because they give the perfect little highlights, okay? So now I'm still using that 5/0 spotter brush. And I'm just gonna come in. I know I said I was gonna use the whiskers and do gray, but we're gonna just do the white. And you can see how just doing that little bit really pulls those whiskers together a little bit more, because they were hiding in his fur. So we're going to add some dimension to his nose by just doing that little highlight. And I'm just letting my brush do the work for me. I am barely letting it touch. We're going to go here. And it's just a flick of my wrist. That's all I'm really kind of doing. I was super incredibly scared to no end, and I had the most amazing teacher with highlighting, Tess, Crafty Tess, or yes, Crafty Tess. She gave me the best advice in the world. She said, if you feel it, then do it. If you want more highlight, add more highlight. There's no rules with painting, just to have fun. Don't overthink it, because when you overthink, that's when you start to mess up. And I have lived on that advice from her a million times now. Give credit where credit is due, right? So I'm just kind of going around, like I said, just adding a little bit of highlight. I do like to add a lot of highlight around my squigglies. Okay. Oh, Jackie, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys, you're going to make me cry. All right, just going right on through here. Right through here. Going right there. Okay, I'm going to come back up because I don't want to get my hand caught in a trap here. No painting us into corners. Right here. And right there. Okay. All right, so I am done. Carolyn, hi honey. Yes, I am live. Can you believe it? Carolyn is in the Hardworking Mind design group with me, and so she does get the pleasure of seeing me paint every now and then. So, but I don't, like I said, I don't typically paint outside of the group, so I am a little bit out of my comfort box. But I'm feeling so grateful. You guys are so amazing. Jody, I will. You've sold me. I know everybody bugs me about it. So during a get-together retreat that happened last week, yes, I definitely was told how many times I needed to go live on my own. So I will definitely do it. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. Y'all are amazing. Okay, I'm going to just grab my black real quick here, and we are going to pop out the Mod Podge and do some glittering, which, for those of you that don't know me, and some that do, glitter is my thing. I love to add glitter to my signs. I think it's just that extra. I am extra. You'll come to find that out. I am looking for my glitter sheet, and I'm not finding it. Let me grab some extra paper here. There we go. All right, I use tracing paper, or you can use parchment paper as well. Just don't use wax paper. Your glitter will stay to it and it won't go anywhere else. I like to always fold my paper in half, so then it works as a funnel to pull it back in, okay? Oh, you're so sweet. Guys, you guys are like, whew. Okay, I'm not going to think about it. I pride myself on being a tough chick, and y'all are breaking down the bones here. It has been a hot minute. Okay, Mod Podge. I love to get the dollar store ones because I like it in the bottles. And in the smaller bottles at that. But you can also always just refill the smaller bottles too. But who has time for that? All right, disclaimer. I like using my paintbrushes to put my Mod Podge on. However, make sure that it is a well-loved paintbrush because you're gonna get paint in this, or you're gonna get glue in this, and glue naturally sticks. So it's gonna start hardening up and you're not gonna be able to use your brush anymore. So if you've got a brush that is a well-loved one that you love very much and you use it with the Mod Podge, you're not gonna love it as much anymore. So when I do my Mod Podge, I get a medium-ish consistency. Not too thin, definitely not too thick though, okay? Same thing that I do with naturally painting. I go around my edge first and then scribble, scribble, scribble on the inside, okay? And I realized I didn't even use my, my paint tray that I typically do. But this had a lot of shading. All right, I am a heavy pourer with glitter. We're gonna let that sit for a minute and I'm just gonna keep going on. The longer you let it sit, the more it kind of adheres and there's less of it falling off. So we're gonna go right into our nose next. And then you guys, this glitter came from Hardworking Mom, Lori. She's selling glitter now. I do not have the names of her new glitter, but this black is amazing. Some of the black glitter that you'll get kind of has like a purple tinge to it. This one does not. It's awesome. It is true black. Okay, we're gonna pop this off. Okay, and you can see, look how cute that looks. Ain't that fun? All right, heading over here. Woo! Oh, we got lucky. I almost dropped that on my painting. Okay. It's okay. Baby wipes. So like I said, baby wipes. I've got a huge clump there of Mod Podge, so we'll get that off. Okay. Same thing here. Like I said, about a medium-ish consistency, okay? If it starts drying on you and you're not working fast enough, you can always add a little bit more. And sometimes I just work in sections with my glitter. Okay, that helps as well. Okay, adding glitter on. Right through here. Okay. And okay. Almost done. We throw our glitter right here, back into a pile here. So in this instance, I probably will work in a section for the mouth, so I can show you guys what I was meaning by working in sections with your glitter. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of just go to here, and I kind of find like a nice flow point where it's not gonna be super obvious of like, hey, she stopped glittering right there. Most of the time you can't see a fault line where your glitter stopped. Okay. All right, cleaning that up and adding glitter. Okay, so we got it added there. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. We're gonna come over here. On this side, come over here. Grab right here. that out. And then I'm going to take this, yes, I'm talking with the paintbrush in my mouth. I was going to try and get it to slide over, but it would have been a hot mess. All right, we're going to go right here, grab our glitter here. Okay, let's go right there, knock knock. My dogs always bark when I do that. I have 3 of them, and they range from small, medium, and large. We don't discriminate. I have a wire hair gremlin dog, I guess. She's a mix, but she's a wire hair terrier of some sort, and I honestly think Min Pin, because she's got the longest legs in the whole entire world. So we've got that, and her name is Zoe. And then I've got my old man, Grumpy Boy, but he is my lover. He likes to always be next to me, and his name is Ronan. He's 16. And I have my Molly. She's my beastie, and she is a lab German Shepherd mix. She's about 95 pounds, but she is a sweetheart. Let me hurry and pour this glitter. I know I teased you. I didn't let you see it all the way. Pouring our glitter back in. See what I mean? Hardly any glitter left, right? I'm telling you, tracing paper. If you don't have some, get some. Okay, throw that back on there. Let me do this because I tend to spill everywhere. And let's show you my friend. Sorry. Oh, extra glitter. I teased. There is our buddy. There's our Binks. For those of you that know, you know, right? There's our Binks. Okay, I'm going to flip my camera up so you can see the face view, and you can see him this way as well. By the way, I always spray paint the backs of mine, so it's not going to look ugly like this. But there you go. You can see that gorgeous glitter, our pumpkin, all the dimensions so it looks grabbable. Same with our cat. It looks like he is just popping over that pumpkin. His cute hat, all the loveliness there. Oh, you guys are so awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Crafty Coaches, for allowing me to come on. You guys have been so amazing, and I really appreciate the opportunity. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Ah, you make my heart so happy. Okay, well, I'm going to end it. You guys have made me feel so amazing. Thank you. Oh, Brenda, you're so sweet. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, everybody. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you again. Bye, guys.